Hey everyone, welcome to the Work Time Fun Podcast. I'm your co-Carell, and let's get this started. On today's podcast, I am joined by my regular guest co-host,
Raymond, a regular guest co-host.
Perfect.
What's our topic? Solo leveling?
Solo leveling, the latest episode, at least as of this recording, which is episode 5. Yeah, I mean, recapping from last week, I know that you weren't such a fan of episode 4.
Right.
I mean, I think what you said was the exposition, or what was it?
This is the way they told the story. It's a lot of his inner monologue, describing what he's seeing, what he's doing, how he's feeling. Well, I guess how he's feeling is okay, but a little heavy with his inner monologue is what I remember.
Gotcha.
Or whatever that is. I don't know if that's inner monologue or his observations of what's going on, because that's in this episode too.
Yeah,
but it's not nearly as egregious.
I think there's more.
There are some parts.
Yeah. You know, after you mentioned that, actually, I was a little bit more conscious about it. So when this episode was happening, I was like, oh yeah, Raymond's gonna like talk about this or how. But I think they handled it a little bit better because I used other characters to do this.
There's other characters.
Yeah, right. And then I was pretty conscious, especially. We could just dive in. Actually, side notes before we actually dive into the episode review.
Let's hear it.
I have some pretty significant notes here. So,
good
stuff that I could have probably mentioned from before. Solo Leveling Season 1. So, as far as I can tell, it's going to consist of 12 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, good so not as much. I mean, a lot of animes, they actually range in the 20 episodes range, but
it's either like 13 or 26.
Yeah, something of that sort.
It divides like easily into like a year.
So, but then the interesting part is it's coming out every week. So this is going to...
It's about a 3-month run and then...
then a 1 year hiatus or whatever. Because I'm sure they're not going to have another release until next year again. Yeah.
The production value looks pretty high, so I can see that.
Oh, you still yet to see other, but we'll get that. So the final episode should air on March 24th this year. So, another month. Yeah, 2 months worth.
Wait, you said the final is on the... Oh, that's right. We're already halfway.
Yeah, because we're already almost through February. Yeah,
that's right.
It's 2 weeks in.
Okay.
And another cool factoid: the music score, it's by a Sawano Hiroyuki. And I looked through his Wikipedia. I was like, holy crap, this guy has done a lot. I'll just read the wiki on him. So he's a Japanese composer, obviously, arranger, lyricist, pianist, and music producer, best known for his work on many anime series, video games, television dramas, and movies. Like, dude, he's done... I didn't know he composed the music for Attack on Titan, The Seven Deadly Sins, Blue Exorcist, Guilty Crown, Kill la Kill, Seraph of the End, and Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. And like, not only that, he's also involved in a lot of video games or other different visual medias. Like this guy is just insane. He also works with a lot of other artists, so he has a lot of collaborations and stuff. So he's pretty significant. So for Solo Leveling to get this person to do their music, you know that Solo Leveling is going to be a pretty big deal, because when you have that music,
you can tell by the animation quality, right?
No, I mean the music score. The music score.
You think you can identify his style of music? I'm not a music expert. Like, that sounds like he would make that song or something. Could you do that? I couldn't do that.
But. No, I mean, because he makes it for. Honestly, if it's under his, he has how do you explain it? He has different names for the types of music he does. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a big music guy. I don't know how to explain it, but he just doesn't go under just his normal name, like Sawano Hiroyuki. It's like, it's also it's in Japanese, so I can't really read it, but he has like other names that matches the style of music for whatever genre it is. Like, Solo Leveling is kind of like this pop, like kind of, I don't know what, K-pop, boy bandish kind of sound, right?
Right.
So, so he has his name, it's attached like a specific name for that kind of genre of music. And then for Attack on Titan, it was like more like a orchestral musical score. And then he had like another name for that kind of music. So I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but or making sense. But
is that something that's normally done in anime, or
I have no idea. But I mean,
that sounds pretty eccentric.
Yeah. His name is tied in, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the project's like the project name for like the different animes or whatever title he's working on.
I mean, they don't do that here.
Yeah. It's like, okay, over here, everyone knows like John Williams. You hear John Williams, he's going to create great music for whether it's Star Wars, Indiana Jones, or whatever, right?
You can kind of identify a John Williams score too, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a certain kind of sound that he has.
Yeah.
Say for like Hans Zimmer.
Yeah. He's got some kind of distinct sounds of how he makes it. So,
yeah.
Or the more popular one now, at least for me, is the guy who made the Mandalorian soundtrack. Lou Goranson. I forgot his name. But he makes distinct music too. And but yeah, I mean, maybe if I listened to more of his stuff for at least Sawano Hiroyuki, I would probably recognize it more. But for me, the reason why I put it up is because I think music, I mean, aside from animation, music really, it gets you in the mood of whatever you're going to watch, Are you
sure?
So, otherwise, if you're just watching like an action scene on screen and it's just no sound effects, no music, it's just like, it just feels flat, right?
Yeah.
At least for me,
it's like half the movie.
Yeah.
Sound and picture.
Yeah. The suspense, everything in there. So, that's why I put in high regard. So if you have someone that's good, that does a lot of good stuff, then you're just going to elevate whatever you're watching. So that's the point I was just going to make.
That's cool. Yeah.
All right. Another thing I wanted to add are Crunchyroll stats, actually. So,
okay.
Yeah. I mean,
you mentioned this earlier.
Yes. So I'm going to put so Crunchyroll has stars, like whatever score out of 5 stars. And then for however many ratings for as many people as there are. I just chose Crunchyroll because that's where, normally you're supposed to watch Solo Leveling or majority of anime.
Is this like the paid anime streaming site? Or
yes. Because they are owned by Sony. And on top of that, I'm not sure if you heard in the news, but Funimation, they're shutting down.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So essentially,
they bought or they just went back?
Yeah. Well, Crunchyroll or parent company Sony, they took over Funimation. I forgot, like last year or so. I forgot when that was announced.
Okay.
But they got absorbed by Crunchyroll basically.
Oh, okay.
And so Crunchyroll made the announcement that they're shutting down Funimation, and it's just purely going to be Crunchyroll. So I'm sure that's all the top exec decision, whatever. Safe.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's streaming anime. Why have two? Just have one.
I feel like Funimation's a more memorable brand. I could just be me being older.
Yeah. Well, I'd recognize it too. Crunchyroll was a little bit kind of like the newer guy.
It feels newer, right?
Yeah. So I kind of get that. But anyways, that's why I'm just using the stats from there because whatever, it's going to be the main one anyways, at least here in the US. So, okay, so putting things in perspective, we have Solo Leveling, brand new anime. We only have 5 episodes, soon to be about 6. So just keep that in mind. Currently it has a 4.9 out of 5 stars rating with 125,000, votes, ratings.
Okay.
So,
and these are user votes?
I believe so, in Crunchyroll. I didn't try to vote myself, so I don't know if it could just be anyone or you have to actually have I'm assuming you have to have an account. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
To actually put the rating in. I don't know. I'll try next. Damn, I should have tried it. But anyways, putting this into perspective, I know you mentioned you love Cowboy Bebop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that also has a 4.9 out of 5 stars rating.
Oh,
but
0.1 off.
Same, but it's only with so that's one season, 26 episodes, at least listed from there, and that's with 22,000 ratings. So quite a lower drop of 100,000 less people. So, and then another popular one is Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if you would agree. That's pretty popular anime. Whether you like it or not, it's
yes,
quite popular.
Very popular.
Yeah. So, and which is evident in the ratings because they're actually at a 4.7 out of 5 stars. So it's actually lower. But that's only at about 30,000 or 30.4 thousand ratings. So,
can I interject?
Sure, go ahead.
Not to interrupt, but do you think it's because people have already seen Dragon Ball Z in like cable and DVDs, and they're not rewatching it on Crunchyroll? They're watching the new stuff.
That's very possible. Yes, I get what you're saying because a lot of this stuff is older. Like Cowboy Bebop is older. Dragon Ball Z is older.
I don't rewatch it anymore. It's only 26 episodes. You can only watch.
Yes, it's true. But then at the same time, it's like there's still new people being introduced into anime. I mean, if you've watched stuff in the past, sure, you've watched it, but there's still, like for example, Solo Leveling. It's brand new.
I don't want to take away from it. I think that's impressive.
125,000 people.
Is that the highest?
It's not.
Okay.
Now, after I've said all those, just to put some comparison, next highest I'll say is Attack on Titan. Are you familiar with that anime?
Yeah, I am.
I think you are. So, they have a bunch of movies, even live action movies, which suck.
Oh, I wanted to see it.
Yeah. No, don't. The Japanese ones just, horrible. I think I tried watching one and I just shut it off.
Bummer.
Yeah. Anyways, that whole series, 5 seasons, 99 episodes, 4.9 out of 5 stars. So, it's up there. And they're at 232,000 ratings. So, that's over 100,000 more than Solo Leveling. But, I mean, that's 5 seasons, 99 episodes. And it's been, like, I think...
And that's kind of a current anime, right? It's still...
Well, I mean, if you go back from the beginning, it's like, what, almost 10 years ago? Or I think from when it started. Maybe not 10 years ago, but, there was long gaps in between the seasons.
Yeah.
Especially for the final season. I was like, what the hell? Like final season part 1, final season part 2.
They broke it up?
Yeah. It was insane.
Space it out.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, like a good way to judge the popularity of an anime is look at the manga section of a Barnes & Noble.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Attack on Titan has its big section, Demon Slayer. I think One Piece.
One Piece?
I saw a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But Solo Leveling, I thought it would be bigger, but maybe this specific Barnes & Noble I went to, they don't have their table set up yet.
I think
so I was looking for book 1, and I couldn't find it.
Not yet, but I foresee it being one of those things that'll be on display. Yeah. Funny that you mentioned that. So other stats I have. Okay, let me go with this. The next stats in ascending order. Jujutsu Kaisen, another 4.9 out of 5, and that's with 331.2 thousand ratings. Demon Slayer, like you mentioned, another 4.9 out of 5. That's with 360,000 ratings.
A lot of people on Crunchyroll.
Yeah. And then lastly, One Piece, which, I mean, to be fair, One Piece has been going on forever.
Yes.
That's 25 seasons, 1,317 episodes, and still going. They're at 4.9 out of 5 with 398.9, like nearly 400,000 ratings.
Is that show still good? Like, have you watched any of season 25 and feel like, wow, this show is still fresh after 25 years?
Personally, I have not, because I've always felt like I was going to come back to it, but I feel so defeated because there's so much to get back onto. So, but I do see spoilers about what's currently happening in the show, and it's kind of giving the I don't know if you ever watched Naruto or Naruto Shippuden.
I did not.
Okay. It's kind of getting like the Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball Z into Dragon Ball Super kind of treatment. The characters, they just kind of just level up throughout I don't know, throughout the seasons or throughout, I don't know, the decade.
Getting stronger.
Yeah. And then so it gets to the point where they're just like ridiculously strong now. So, yeah, I in a way, it was very simple in the beginning. And then from that simple concept, they expanded on it so much more. Like there was so much more lore than we originally thought about everything. So yes, it stays
still
fresh.
It's still fresh.
Yeah.
I can't even watch Simpsons. What's a
I know that's like the longest running one, right? For American.
25 seasons. We're talking about 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Family Guy. We don't have any. They're all comedies. I can think of that have run provided that. CSI. Yeah,
but that's like different kinds of. Oh,
well, I can think of any show that stays like Arthur on PBS.
Is that still
like they ended finally? Like last year they just ended. It's like finally this show is so dull. I know it's meant for kids, but
I get you. Yeah, for Simpsons. I mean, I'll catch it from time to time, but I'm not keeping up to date with that. That's just insane.
Well, it's more like, can you jump into the newest season? Like, oh, this is still pretty good. Like, I can't think of any show that's gone beyond 15 seasons. So like, oh, this is what a decent episode this was.
Yeah. I'll say the only thing I could think as a comparison, although it's not really, I don't know if it's fair, but soap operas.
Sesame Street. Oh.
Sort of.
They always have a revolving cast, like the cast.
Yeah, that's why I said
some people out.
It's not fair because it's like generational, like American pop. It's going through generations of different families with different characters as they progress through, however long it's been going.
It's a 2-hour movie. It's
yeah. But anyways, point I'm getting at is, all these ratings are. I mean, I gave pretty much all. They all had like 4.9 or out of 5, say for Dragon Ball Z, and the amount of ratings that are on there is like insane.
Yeah, it's a good indicator of what's popular.
Yeah,
right.
And then and all the other ones that without 330,000, whatever, you're talking about multi seasons, like in the 40, 50, 1,000 range of episodes, getting those kind of ratings and that many votes. And Solo Leveling is only at 5 episodes with like maybe a third.
Oh, I see.
See what
I
I
see
mean?
What you're trying to get at. So
like the popularity of it. Yes.
There's so little of it, but it's still like has this exponentially larger, like per episode, like per capita.
Yeah.
It's much larger.
Yeah.
Okay.
However we explain that, maybe someone smarter than me can explain that. But yes, for as few episodes there are, the amount of ratings is just off the roof.
So this is going to be like a phenomenon, like on the level of Attack on Titan or something. Is that what we're trying to get at?
I feel,
or beyond.
5 seasons, 99 episodes. Attack on Titan, 232,000 or 232.7 thousand ratings, and Solo Leveling is at half of that already, or more than half. So, or about half. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's on its way up there.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I was like, when we first talked about watching anime and getting something, when I saw this and I was like, holy crap, we got to jump on this because this is something huge. This is going to be something. Like, yeah.
And people are going to want to hear opinions on it from like fair weather anime fans,
from anyone, because there's people. I'm looking on YouTube, TikTok, whatever. There's people who just do reactions to the episodes, and there's people watching that. Just seeing the fact of people watching it and genuinely being like entertained or disappointed or comparing it to the manhwa, like because there are differences. I'm even seeing stuff about how the manhwa has stuff differently than how the anime has it. So
I wanted to buy one at Barnes, but I couldn't find it. So
that's a good point. I might look into the webtoon just to look at that first to try to get ahead. But
that might be cheaper.
Yeah,
like the whole thing's on there, right?
Yeah, you can find it on webtoons.
I just don't like reading on a screen for that long.
It's kind of weird. Like I try to do it on my tablet, but it's kind of
weird. You need an actual e-reader, like
Yeah.
a Kindle. It'll fry your eyes.
Yeah. How hard are those? Have you used one?
I have, but at the time, I wasn't interested in reading.
Gotcha.
So we're talking like years ago.
Okay.
It's like, oh, you just read? Lame.
I don't know if that would translate though, because it's art. You know, it's like comic books. So,
That's right. So I did Google this, or I went on Reddit, and they're like, for manga, it's fine for like black and white manga, but it is black and white, colored. So you might have to use an actual tablet.
Yeah, I don't think it will translate then because the webtoons, it's all colors and
it's all color.
Yeah, and they're nicely drawn too. So I think that's the other like appeal.
To it looks really nice.
Yeah. So it's like, man, it's like almost sometimes even better than what the animation looks like, honestly. So,
okay. Is that good, huh?
Yeah, in my opinion. I mean, I'm no art person or whatever, but it just looks cool to me. Yeah.
So I never opened the book. So is the manga in color? I guess I could Google that too. But
yeah, I mean, I did a quick look on Amazon. So
are they in color?
Yeah, at least from what I've seen. Well,
okay.
I've mostly seen the hardcovers and some pages inside. So
okay, so I saw one book. It's like book number 6. I was like, okay, I wanted one, book number 1, but I didn't even open it. I was like, okay, well, they don't have enough here.
Yeah, I'll have to check. Maybe I'll stop by a bookstore sometime this weekend or next week.
We only have one bookstore.
Hey,
the monopoly that is Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Nobles. I'm trying to think. Is there any other? Not really.
In the Bay Area, we had 2. We had half-price books, but there's no half-price books here.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well.
They sell video games, too, that's why.
Nice.
And board games.
So,
anyway.
Yeah. Now to the actual episode after.
All right, now the actual timestamp.
Yeah, new timestamp.
Well, no, you were talking solo leveling.
We got some stuff in there. So, I mean, about this episode, it's titled A Pretty Good Deal. Actually, I'm trying to remember, what does that even... Oh, it's because
he's recruited, right?
Yeah.
By
a
group of guys.
I mean, I could recap it real quick. I have some bullet points I could...
Sure.
So
I'm going to follow your lead on this.
All right.
Because you have all the notes.
Mm-hmm. So at the end of episode 4, after Jinwoo one-shotted that golem,
right.
The one thing, I'll allude to this in a little bit, but, when it gets the close-up to Jinwoo, it starts up from his, like, waist going up, and you see his arm just kind of like, his arm flexing. I don't know if he was flexing or not, but you see the definition of the muscles in his arms, or in his arm. Okay. And then that's alluding to his greater strength, I'm assuming, right?
That makes sense.
And then, but to Jinwoo himself, he just thought that he helped take down the golem since, those other hunters were already weakening it, right? So he was still having self-doubt about himself. But when in fact, like the one guy with the shield, he said, hey, we were doing no damage to it. Who's this guy that just took it down in one hit? Jinwoo didn't realize he did that all himself.
Okay. Yeah. I don't remember that, but okay. I forgot.
So, all right. That was the end of the previous episode. So we get into episode 5, and now it's like, oh man, you're already starting off with Jinwoo like working out. You see his ripped abs and
a little corny. All the girls like fawning over him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put. The nurses fawning over Jinwoo's physique.
Yeah.
But the point I wanted to make is, man, you see a drastic difference in how they draw Jinwoo now, right? Compared to just the previous episode.
Yeah, he's not puny.
Yeah. He's like, okay, he's upright. He seems taller. His hair shorter? Or
he grew?
Yeah, it's like he grew. I don't know. Maybe his character was sort of slouching before or something. I don't know. But
maybe.
Yeah, he seemed taller. And then I think, I don't know, his sister, Gina, alluded to that or something when he was back home.
I thought she was a fawn over him too. I was like, oh no, don't go there today.
This is not Alabama. This is Japan. So. Oh, wait, no, Korea. Sorry.
Oh.
Korea. But anyways, so they're watching, they have the TV on. It's a TV interview with one of the S-rank hunters in Korea named Baek Yoon-ho. They're just talking about, okay, what it takes to become a hunter, and especially in S rank, all that kind of stuff. And then, you see the comparisons there. You see them alluding to the fact that, oh man, Jinwoo's like on his way there. But
Mhm.
so, oh yeah, the point I wanted to make. So Gina and Jinwoo are at home. Gina asks Jinwoo, "Hey, has he been working out? He looks taller." And then she has this little line, "I guess men keep growing even when they're adults." And she laughs. So yeah, it's like fun on like put there. And then another thing I wanted to point out is that even Jinwoo's his voice. I don't know if it's the same voice actor. I'm assuming it's the same voice actor, but it's deeper now.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Okay. I caught on that.
Yeah.
I caught on to that.
So it's like, man, it's the confidence is growing, or it's I don't know if boosting his strength stats makes his voice deeper. Yeah. Or
it's one of the attributes.
Yeah.
It's like voice or puberty. The puberty stat.
Yeah. So it's funny when he contemplates his stats and how to allocate them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he keeps his focus on strength, agility, perception, and then not caring so much about vitality, intelligence, because he thinks intelligence is just for magic use, and he doesn't really use magic. So, well, sidestepping there. But the other unbelievable thing to me, at least, is when he gets a phone call, and it's his landlord saying that he's past due for the rent.
Yes.
The most unbelievable thing, and I also heard it from other YouTubers reacting, is like, "Oh, the landlord's, don't worry about it. If you have to put it off, we can worry about it later." I'm like, what?
Yeah.
In what world is this?
Japan,
Yeah,
not here.
Korea, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Like, man, that's an awesome guy. I mean, I could spoil. There is something I watched on YouTube that compared it to the anime or the manga. There was a little bit more explainer to that.
about the rent?
Yeah. So apparently Jinwoo and Gina, they've been in that house for like a long time, and with that landlord dealing with him. And then the landlord understands like the kind of situation they're in. Like the dad's gone or dead. They don't ever explain it. The mom's in the hospital. And then, Jinwoo's there trying to just take care of the family. So he helps them out by never raising the rent price and always helping him out by saying, don't worry about it. You can just pay me when you're able to, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So that's never explained here, but apparently it's explained in the manga.
Not necessary.
Yeah,
we don't
it's
need
whatever.
That kind of detail.
It's just minor details. It's whatever. So, I mean, then we get on to, now that motivates Jinwoo, or not motivate, it pushes him to like, oh man, he has to start looking for work again, right?
Yeah, or like he's re-enter a dungeon or something.
Yeah, so he looks through his phone and it's like, man, he wants to do a higher rank gate so he can get more money, but he doesn't want to expose himself as like a higher level, because especially since what he's doing is that he's constantly leveling up, which no one in the world in solo leveling can do. Only he can. So
he's still E rank, right?
At least in the eyes of the Hunters Guild, because of how he was initially.
So he has to like retest himself to go up a rank?
Yeah. Well, they call it a reawakening. Like if they go through a reawakening, then he could potentially become like a higher rank. But the anime has already established that once they awaken the first time, that's generally where they stay. So a reawakening is like super rare.
Yeah.
It might happen, but it's like seldom. So
that's kind of alluded to, right? Like the third episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, early on.
They retested him or something.
Oh yeah, after the whole dungeon, the first dungeon.
Yeah.
And then he's all excited. It's like, oh, am I higher? And it's like, dude, he's only like power 10.
It's like the same.
Yeah, he's like weaker than an actual E rank, which is like around 70, they said. But,
yeah.
Well, that was before he started doing all of his daily trainings and dungeon hunting and all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, Jinwoo, he actually gets a job. He joins up with his first C rank gate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's funny because when they say his name, and then one of the other guys in the team that he's meeting with, like, immediately recognizes Jinwoo as like, oh man, it's the weakest hunter of all mankind.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Like, little do they know, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how much detail we want to get into. I'm just pretty much recapping, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm just following your lead because you saw this more recently than I did, I believe.
I watched it. Or
do you know? Oh, go ahead.
From this point, I mean, were you still positive about the show? I mean, up to this point, or were you feeling?
Yeah, we're like 8 minutes into the show. No, it's fine. I think the fact that he got the call that he's behind on rent, so that's the motivator for the next.
Yeah,
next. It's like the motivator for the episode, right?
Yeah, to move the story forward.
I just thought the scene with the nurses like checking him out and like, but she's like, "Can I have your phone number?" And kind of bows her head.
Mentioned it. Yeah,
it's like this is written by a kid who like wants this kind of attention from women.
I think it's typical.
It's okay. It's played for jokes.
Yeah, it's inconsequential.
Yeah. It's their humor.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't get into the main fact of what we're trying to get into now, which is Jinwoo joining up with this party to do the C rank dungeon. And then a couple points I want to put in there is that the party leader informs Jinwoo that they just need him to fill the quota, right? I guess they need 8 people in the party, but they don't have 8 people. So
they had 6.
Yeah. Hence, him and the other guy that they got. So other factoid is among which at least half need to be C rank. And Jinwoo won't be a combatant, so he won't get the share of the spoils as per his contract. However, they're offering him $2 million just to participate. And then, I don't know, right off the bat, I mean, without finishing this episode, I felt, man, that seems kind of high for just being a participant. So I was already like, kind of red flags, fishy kind of situation. I don't know if you caught on.
I didn't know the context. That $2 million is how much in this world, like in their currency.
Yeah.
So I don't have a context for it.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't, but I mean, just seeing, that much seemed a lot
like
to me. Yeah.
Like $2 million.
Yeah. It's like, especially when he was complaining about how he didn't get enough in other dungeons, So.
Yeah.
And so the other cool thing he did was Jinwoo had his perception. He sees that the party that he's joining has 4 C ranks and 2 sub D ranks. I thought that was cool. Like his perception is seeing levels and things around him. So,
and that's part of one of his attributes?
Yes, perception. So that's how he's able to tell if like monsters are weaker than him, same level, or stronger than him, when it has like the different text on there.
Yeah.
So Jinwoo's told to hold the bags of food and med kits. But when the party leader mentioned what kind of teams they have, he immediately questions, why don't they have a healer? They have no healer in the party. And then so the party leader explains, it's hard for them as independent parties to retain healers. So they do all their raids without a healer. And then that was like, okay, now that's another major red flag that Jinwoo was like, He thinks a squad with nothing but tanks and damage healers seems crazy. And something about the lack of a healer bugs me. So that's an actual, his thought,
Yeah.
In there. Yeah. So
I remember.
Yeah. So anyways,
it's fine.
He signs the contract, and then this other person shows up, the dude that's all dressed up in fancy gear,
like the armor.
Yeah.
They have a sword and shield.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sword, shield, all nice.
I want to come back to this character later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then he's all like, he's like a D rank, so he's technically higher than Jinwoo. So all throughout their adventure in that dungeon, But it's funny because he's brand new. That's like his first mission. So this is how we get into the whole exposition of things, or how you say, this new guy is asking Jinwoo about, hey, what's this? What's that? What's going on? And Jinwoo would explain everything as they go through, since he's the more seasoned hunter, right?
Right. Well, actually, he's observing to himself, like, oh, this guy has nice armor. He must come from a rich family or something.
Yeah, I mean, that part too. But then when they're actually in the dungeon, then the new guy will be asking, oh, like, how come there's what's the glowstone, or what's the light, or, those kind of questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but that's how we we as an audience are getting to understand these kind of facts about what you would see inside of a dungeon or what to expect or what are.
Oh, you're saying the guy was asking Jinwoo
Yes. Mm-hmm.
these questions. Oh, right. Okay, that's what you're talking about.
That's what I was getting to. So
okay.
Yeah. New guy keeps asking questions and Jinwoo answers. Yeah.
No, and that's a good way to give it. Like, we're the guy in the armor.
Yeah. So that made me immediately think of you, because I know you always talk about, how well do they do the exposition? Like, does this suffice, or is this another like poor example? And so I don't know. That's where I wanted to ask you.
No, it's fine. It's a much better way to explain those things to us.
Okay.
Like him talking to another character about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So then, moving on. I think the next part is they're about to get attacked. Well, they don't know, but Jinwoo does, right?
He knows where the attack's coming from too. Yeah, so that's one of his abilities,
his skills, his perception skills.
Whenever he leveled up,
So I don't know if. Yes, it's partly his perception, but I think it's also that he. He's always had that ever since, even from the first dungeon, right? When he had no powers. Because or just in dungeon number 2, the fact that he could solve these puzzles, like we kind of know that he has this innate ability to like figure things out from observation or something. That's right.
Right. So I don't know. Did he level it up, or is that?
I don't. He didn't level up with this. At least as of this current episode, he just.
So it's not being clear that he leveled up.
But as he levels up, I think he gets extra points aside from his that he can assign. So like he gets like 1 point in each category as he levels up.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool that they call back to that he can like figure out like where the danger is, because it's mentioned in episode 1 or whatever.
Yeah. So
like, that works.
Continue on it.
Yeah, that's a nitpick. Like it's fine. It's I wasn't distracted or anything.
Yeah. So, anyways, while they're going through the dungeon, after the ant attack, Jinwoo he's got this uneasy feeling, and he warns the other new guy to watch out because he's not so sure. He's starting to feel the doubt about the party he's with. Then that's also when you get that kind of backstory with him and that what's his name? That other party leader from the first dungeon, warning him about, watch out for like bad guys. The
flashback, right? On that park bench.
Warning Jinwoo.
What episode is that from? Is that episode 3?
I don't think it was ever aired on an episode, but it's just his own flashback. Yeah. So it's new for this.
Is that the first time we see this man?
No, it's happened in previous episodes, but for like different flashbacks.
Stuff. He's had different flashbacks of this with this guy.
Yes. So it's like he's just remembering different he's had.
Different advice.
Yeah. It's his Uncle Ben. Whatever. Great power, great responsibility, whatever.
Level up your great power. Become more powerful.
So
great advice, Uncle Ben.
And then, so at that moment, Jinwoo starts wondering why he's getting paid so much and he doesn't have to fight. Said, and then in quotes is a pretty good deal. Maybe too good. Something keeps bugging me. And then they finally end up into that area where they have all those mana stones, which we also find out and explain it's not worth as much as essence stones, but you saw walls of them just everywhere. Right. So, of course, that's enough for money. And
I'm a little confused about this scene too, but we'll let you finish. I just have questions.
Sure. I'm just wrapping up. And then at this moment is then when you find out that they really do get betrayed. The party says, we forgot our mining equipment back in our car. We're just going to head back. And as they walk out, they freaking like blast a cave entrance and then lock the two out inside of there with the spider dungeon boss. Right.
Yeah.
So
I hate spiders.
I think we all do. Actually, you know what? Funny thing. I actually try to save spiders. If I find them inside, I try to capture them and throw them outside the door or outside.
That's what my daughter wants me to do.
Oh, yeah? You kill the spiders?
I pretend I'm throwing them outside, but I'm just throwing them into the ground and stepping on them.
Oh, man.
It's like, get out. Yeah. You're not invited.
Yeah. I don't mind spiders as much. I don't like them, but I think they help with bug controller, whatever.
Bugs.
Yeah.
I like they look like daddy long legs, but they're technically not. Like the small body, the long legs, they're kind of soft.
Oh, okay.
Or kind of flow with the wind, kind of lightweight. I keep those alive.
Oh, we got some thick ones over here. They have like thick bodies. I'm always kind of afraid if they're like venomous.
I'll kill the thick body anything.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, so this is right up to the end of the episode. Jinwoo.
It's cliffhanger.
Yep. Jinwoo, after a slight disbelief in the situation, he finally comes into a realization that, hey, you know what? After all the stuff he's been through, he can handle this. So I love how awesome he just conjures up the dagger, the new dagger he has. Like, oh, that's sick. I have to rewatch it because I don't remember if he pulled it out of inventory. I'm sure he does, but it just like it manifests in his hand, and I thought that was cool. And then,
okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I rewatched it just to see that moment. And he says, and he tells the other guy, "Don't worry, I'll handle this." And I was like,
of course, he has like no fear because we don't know what level he's at, right? He's probably S rank at this point, equivalent of an S rank.
S rank, at least an A, if not S. Yeah,
but we're just guessing, right?
We're just assuming because he doesn't even know himself.
He one hit killed that thing in the last episode,
but that was a D rank monster.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So he's C or above.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure if it was D or E rank because he said the snake thing that he fought was more stronger than that golem. So.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, from the previous episode, he mentioned that, oh man, this golem is weaker than the snake I just fought.
I think I kind of recall that.
Yeah.
When he steps out. Yeah.
So, but then we don't really get a gauge of like what level that snake should have been.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like a higher D rank or maybe even C potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe not C because I don't know. But anyways, that's where we left. Cliffhanger.
So I have a story question.
Okay.
This is a genuine question. So, what's the guys who betrayed them?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they betray them?
So
they didn't mine any of those crystals. They just left it and they shut down the cave.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite get it myself.
Okay,
I don't know.
So it's a question.
Yeah, it's something I guess we're gonna find out in the next episode. So stay tuned.
Okay.
But I mean, early guesses, especially from the flashback that Jinwoo had with that one guy, they're obviously bad dudes. And for them to say that they've always done this, meaning they've always done this. They only have 6. They always get 2 people, and then they'll probably leave them with the dungeon boss to try to weaken it, or distract it, or maybe put it back to sleep, and they would come back and just loot or whatever.
Right.
I mean, that's my assumption right now. I'm just
I feel like they want to leave the dungeon open. Like they don't want the boss to be killed because the dungeon will close.
Yeah. And then they have all those crystals. So the other clue we had is like, remember when they're on the way to and then all the ants were like already like kind of killed or like damaged.
Yeah, or weak.
Yeah. Before they even got there.
And they're kind of looting the ants.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, I don't know if they've already ran through it themselves before. You know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if they might have ran through it previously.
Oh, I thought I thought the spider did.
Yeah. Well,
it could have been them. Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of contemplating whether they might have done that, and they plotted to have, those 2 guys come in and become, fodder for the spider. I don't know, something along those lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just a little confused. Don't you want to mine this stuff first before you betray them?
Yeah.
It's like, when are you coming back to if they die?
Yeah.
Like another sleeping spider. Like I thought he was already asleep. So I was a little confused, but maybe that's part of the cliffhanger.
I don't know. Maybe they realize if they try to mine the stuff, it'll wake up the spider. I don't know. That's something.
Well, then, what do you guys? What's the point?
Yeah. Well, we could theorize it now. Then by the time we watch the episode, we'll see if our theories are correct.
How if they even reference it, or they move on.
Yeah.
So have you ever cheated on this show? Like, have you looked ahead?
I actually planned on doing it. I just haven't yet. Like, I wanted to, like I mentioned, read the webtoon. So
So I wonder if the kid with the nice armor,
Mm-hmm.
is he going to be a recurring character, or is he going to die in the next episode? So I have a theory, if we're going there, that this could be a recurring character because he's rich and Jinwoo is poor, and maybe he offers to have Jinwoo move in with him, or he helps pay for whatever expenses he needs in exchange for like training him or something, because he's probably going to see Jinwoo kick the spider's ass for E rank. He's like, wow, I want to learn to be just like you or something. Or he just dies and then just move on.
I was thinking, yeah, or he just dies.
Yeah.
Mid-fight while Jin was like, oh, crap. Well, I took down the spider, but this guy didn't make it.
But I want to... This is also like a... kind of consequential, but I wanted to talk about... There are two instances in terms of narrative storytelling, like I complained about last episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, no, there's one instance, but it happens twice.
Okay.
And I just want to ask, like, I don't know why they chose to do it this way. So, assuming this character have a name, the armor shield guy.
Yes, I think I wrote it down.
I'm gonna write it down so I don't keep saying armor shield guy.
Jinho, I think. I believe it's Jinho. Yeah.
And Jinwoo? Man, I'm gonna mix this up.
Yeah. They got it right. Okay. Yeah.
So, what do we need to know about Jinho? I thought he's going to be a recurring character. We just need to know that he comes from wealth, right? That he's rich, right? So, early in the episode, Jinwoo, he's doing his observation thing, and he's saying, wow, that's a nice armor this guy has. Yeah. He must have rich parents, right? He's thinking in his mind. And I thought, ew, gross. I don't like how they did that.
But then, like, hey, how you doing? That's good.
But later on in this episode, when he's like having his suspicions, he looks at the Jinho and he says, "Hey, where'd you get that shield or whatever? Or where'd you get that outfit or something?" He said, "Oh, my dad bought it for me. It's my first fight or whatever."
I remember that.
And I'm like, these are two scenes that are kind of doing the same thing. Like, they're just giving us information that, oh, this kid probably rich or has some kind of money. I don't know why they had to do it twice. Yeah. Well, and I thought, which one works better for you? What do you think? Or which one do you think works better in the context of this show? Well, you can answer, but
yeah,
the answer is when he asks him, "Where'd you get that shield from?" And he said, "Oh, my dad bought it for me. He wanted me to have something nice for my first." And like, that's a better way to convey that information than him saying, "He looks like he has rich parents."
Yeah. Well, right? See, I get where you're going with that, but then in the first part, he was just thinking it. So I think that kind of alludes to, like, his perception or his ability to think, like, or I don't know how you explain, rationalize or identify, or his perception basically of, like,
he's
like how he sees things and how he thinks things are going or how it is, and then later on when they're walking that dungeon and when he actually asks him, it's just confirmation of what he perceived earlier on. So I think it works in that sense because, I mean, it explained, but before it was just his guess that he came from a rich family. And then when he actually asks and then Jinho actually answers, that's just confirmation. Oh yeah, my dad bought it for me because this is my very first one.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it from, I guess, that perspective. But I mean, it's conveying the same information, right?
It does.
Like, we just know this kid has money. Comes from money.
Yeah.
And I feel like you only need one of those scenes to give us that information. Otherwise, it just feels like filler. Right?
Well, Or
I
maybe
just saw
they
it-
could have probably
Uh-huh.
put them together. Like he could have perceived it and then asked them.
at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That would have flowed better, perhaps, instead of like, oh, he thought about it earlier and then.
It's like you look like he looks like he's rich. It's like, hey, where'd you get that suit from?
Yeah.
Oh, my dad bought it for me. Like, right, that works.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how they did it.
Okay. But they
Anyway.
didn't do it that way. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
He's gonna die next episode, anyways.
Oh, so he is.
No, I'm just kidding.
So-
I was just saying. I don't know. I don't know.
'Cause if he doesn't, then him being rich, that's important information for this show. But if he dies, then whatever.
Yeah, potentially.
I just thought I'd use as the example of what I was trying to explain the last time we recorded. Because I know I was getting sleepy and I felt like I was kind of mumbling.
Uh-huh.
And also, I just reminded myself, I quoted Ratatouille.
What's that?
I quoted a line from Ratatouille, and I said, "Let me give you some context," and I didn't.
Oh yeah.
So
Last
I'll
episode.
even make it very brief. It's just sometimes when you critique something, it's probably to the detriment of just enjoying something, and we should not over. I guess the more we watch something, the more the more we what's that? When you keep watching movies over and over again, the more you build up some kind of like, oh, I've seen this already, or this has been done better here, or this is not the way it should have been done. But if we overanalyze or if we're too harsh, we're gonna miss out on something that maybe someone else like genuinely enjoyed because it's new for them. Or just as a critic, if people are critiquing something, don't gatekeep. I don't mean to, and I hate all these movies. That's all I was trying to say. It's like, I'm being very negative last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a gatekeeper. If you like it, you like it. It's just, this is how I felt. And, and the art is more important than me. Or the art will outlast me. So my opinion on this show is less relevant than the show itself. And I think that was kind of a overwordy way of explaining, of summarizing.
Okay,
I should have said that.
Yeah.
I should have said it last week.
Oh, that's fine. I kind of get your point there. I mean, for me, at least, correct me if I'm wrong, but I get it as if
You're wrong.
Yeah, no,
I'm
always right. Actually, don't linger on being so critical or so negative on something because you miss out on all the positive things that you would have seen. Something like that. Along those lines. We're both saying the same thing. Yeah. I just have to simplify it in my simple mind. So.
Well, no, we're both of the same mind. We're both the same age. I think, and I'm not going to stray too far. Like, I think the last 2, 3, 4 recordings, I've disliked more than I've liked. Like, way more. Like, I don't think I've seen anything that I liked. Maybe the Marvels, which is like a kind of like a iffy like it's good, but it's okay. But everything else, it's just negative. Except for today, I chose to watch stuff that was pretty good. So.
Okay.
And it's easier to be mean. I think I said that already.
Yeah,
it's easier to hate something. I think that's human nature, but that's the psychology of something I don't have any expertise in.
Oh yeah. I think in my line of work, definitely hear a lot more complaints than we hear praise. So
you deal with you're a customer facing job, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's part of my
customers suck.
Yeah.
All right. I work retail. Customers suck. Always. Okay. They're always wrong.
You definitely know. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's what we got. I mean, broke it down.
Are we done?
Yeah. I mean, well, as far as we didn't say how we thought about this episode. For me, like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's like, man, I kind of wish that I could jump on to the next episode just to see him, start beating down on the spider dungeon boss and just seeing him keep leveling up. Like, I'm excited to watch the next episode, and like, I can't wait. So that's how I feel about it. Positive. I'm ready to dive in to the next episode.
Yeah, I'm positive too. Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of wish they did fight the spider in that episode, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, we're done already. That was 20 minutes or 22 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah, a sharp contrast from episode 4. This was a genuinely enjoyable, coherent, it's decently done episode, and I am looking forward to the next one in 2 hours.
Cool. I think it's just going to be probably a lot more straight action, though. So we'll see how this one goes.
Most likely,
yeah.
But now he has someone there to observe him.
Yeah,
right. Sword and Shield, Jinho. He's going to be saying stuff in his mind. It's like, wow, how is he doing that? Where did that sword come from? And why is he touching the air? Because does he touch menus like this?
Yeah.
I know you can't. There's no camera.
No, actually, he just has to think.
At it?
Yeah, he just has to think.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have to physically interact with the screen. He just has to think. Like when he's allocating his stat points, he just has to think where he's going to allocate it, and it'll just do it. So
okay, and there's other moments where like multiple screens pop up around him.
Yeah, like you can have.
He's gonna be a scene where he's just like looking around. And Jinho's like, "What the hell's he doing?"
I mean, they alluded that to the second, third episode when he was in the hospital, right?
Oh, that's right. They did that joke already. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, don't repeat the same joke.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So awesome. I mean, fairly positive audience. If you're listening, fairly positive. We like this, and we're excited to see the next one. So, we hope our theories maybe hold. Vote. Do you think Jinho's gonna die or is he gonna survive?
Not very ambitious theories. It's just this character gonna live or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like little things here. Obviously, we know Jinwoo is gonna like kick the spider's ass. So, I mean, maybe struggle a bit.
Or the spider win. Will the spider win?
Yeah, no, we know he's not gonna win. Spider's gonna die. So, spider's gonna get defeated for sure. Just how long will it take? We'll just be done in this episode or the next or whatever. So,
and that could be a point of contention. This could be a drawn out fight, or I think Dragon Ball Z very guilty of that.
Oh yeah,
very drawn out.
They span weeks, month of just
multiple episodes.
I know, just the two characters just staring down at each other,
stare down and flexing.
But
I still don't understand how that show got so big here.
Still widely popular. Yep. Yeah. So, but I think at the pacing of what we're watching, it's probably going to get completed by the end of this episode. At least my theory. So, just because of what we're seeing in these episodes, just the pacing of it just seems to just keep accelerating. Just keep leveling up as the title.
I don't know if I want it to last the whole episode. I wonder if they're willing to just do half and then move the plot along.
Okay. Oh yeah, in that point, yeah. But what I mean, finish the spider. I mean, he will defeat
the spider.
Yeah, by the next episode.
The spider may or may not win by the end. By the next episode.
Yeah, or how far along, and then what happens with the other hunter group when Jinwoo, gets back at them or whatever. How's that interaction going to be?
Oh yeah, right. They're gonna. There's those stories of hunters fighting each other.
Yeah, it's gonna kick their ass and leave them in there. So, the spider got to them. Oops.
What keeps them from an S rank from just being evil and just killing people?
Question. Nothing really.
Or
maybe all
the
other S ranks, maybe. Like if S rank turns bad, then I guess the other S ranks would hunt that bad guy down, just like any other monster.
It's also not that kind of story. That's like a DC, DC Marvel story.
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see in the future episodes or seasons. So, all right. Yeah, I think that wraps it up for us on Solo Leveling, episode 5, and anticipating the next one. So, any final words, Raymond, or anything else?
No. I like the episode. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. Okay. And any plugs? Last things?
Plug. Okay. Letterboxd. Paid lunch break. Capital P, capital L, capital B. I reviewed 4 movies. And spoiler, I didn't like Return of Jafar. It got one of my lowest reviews, or lowest. I think it's a 5-star
5-star rating
scale. I think it's like a 10-point scale because they have half points.
Okay.
So it's 5 stars, but you can do halves. That's technically 10 points. This one was pretty low. I think it was a 3 out of 10 or 1.5 stars. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can plug.
About how many episodes or movies or shows have you rated so far?
Oh, plenty now. I would say probably 10. Oh, around 10. I'm not counting. I didn't write reviews until we started podcasting. I was just putting the star reviews.
Okay.
In terms of just giving stars, there's probably 20 plus.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
In terms of written reviews. Yeah, like this last. Yeah. Half maybe.
Oh, all right. Puzzle. I still need to catch up, so.
Yeah, you're watching like 30 movies a week.
I know. It's like, I'm kind of torn. I gotta watch shows and then give my like thoughts and plans and everything, so.
Yeah, I heard Letterboxd is gonna add like a more streamlined way of reviewing TV shows.
Oh.
But I'm not putting TV shows on mine.
Strictly movies.
Yeah, it's too much.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. I'll plug mine. I mean, what's it called? Letterboxd, Work Time Fun podcast. And
yes.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So I think that wraps up for us. So all of you, I hope you enjoyed what we had to speak about today. And I hope you enjoyed listening to us. So until next time, have a fantastic day.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to our show. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback for us, we greatly appreciate that. If you can send us an email to worktimefunpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us a message at X, formerly known as Twitter, and our handle is @worktimefunpod. Thanks again.